Hi, Neil Stevens here from Adobe. I look after the video business in the UK. I'm excited to be here at the AMD booth, taking a look at what these guys have done with the FirePro hardware and seeing Premiere running at its best with the optimizations of OpenCL under the hood. Some really exciting developments in this new version. The software's really flying on the AMD hardware. So with so many powerful options for graphics cards available from our partners, like here at AMD, what we've done in this release of Premiere Pro is remove the whitelist of GPUs from inside the application. What this means is that you can now pretty much use any graphics card, any OpenCL card, particularly the FirePro stuff, if it has greater than a gig of VRAM, which is the amount we need to decode one frame at high resolution. If you're going for 4K workflows, that's even better now as well, because we support a number of 4K codecs directly in the timeline, but we actually offer GPU debayering of those codecs as well. And for those who don't know what that is, debayering is essentially a process whereby not all of the color information is stored in the camera chip as you digitize the footage. So there's a process of rebuilding that information when you play back, known as debayering. This is one of the tasks that we can offload onto the AMD GPU, as well as all of the visual effects that have all been possible with the Mercury playback engine until now. So let's take a look. So the Mercury playback engine is really three things. It's 64-bit multi-threaded code. It can use all of the RAM in your system, and the icing on the cake is the GPU acceleration, which essentially drives all of the visual effects in the timeline. So over here in the visual effects panel, any effects that have this icon next to them in the legend, that process will be offloaded to your GPU. So it's fair to say, if you have a timeline in which your footage is playing back smoothly with no dropped frames, with no effects, you'll be able to add 2 or even 3 effects per clip, whether it's high processor intensity, blurs or keys or grades, doesn't matter. You'll be able to have that playback in real time as well once all that workload is offloaded to the graphics card. One of the OpenCL accelerated effects that we added in the last version of CC 2014 was automated mask tracking. Now this isn't necessarily an effect in and of itself, it's actually a sub-effect that exists within every effect in the timeline. So this makes the process of tracking masks for blurring faces, blurring number plates, much more straightforward. I can actually draw a mask, and I can use the tool that's built into every effect. So in this case, I have brightness and contrast. Here's a mask. I can go in and I can automatically track that either for the duration of the clip or frame by frame. And it will go ahead and follow the action in that shot. And as you can see, there's no hard edge on the object that's being tracked there. That's quite a soft, grainy image. So the tracker's working quite hard to actually be able to isolate that image and follow it through the shot. In the first instance, we allowed you to have circular and square-based masks, but in this new version of Premiere, we've added the ability to do freehand and Bezier-based adjustments to your mask also. So in this new release, we now also have native support for cineform shot GoPro footage. So you can see this is taken straight off a Hero 3, straight into the timeline, playing back in real time, as you can see. The cineform codec is important to us because another area of the software which has received some attention this time around is the project manager. So the project manager did have some legacy limitations associated with it, but this time around we've actually introduced the capability to fully consolidate and transcode to a number of different new codecs. As you can see, I can take sequences, clips or presets and transcode those wholesale. I can send them across to DNX HD, MXFOP1A or even QuickTime. And as you'll see, the QuickTime codec of choice is the GoPro Cineform codec that now comes in the box. Fully 12-bit and resolution independent, all the way up to Ultra HD and beyond. On the topic of export, we actually harness the power of 2 GPUs if you're lucky enough to have them available. That's a native configuration on the Mac platform with the D500 and D700 configurations. On the subject of Mac, where we added support for Retina-based displays a few releases ago, we now support the Windows 8.1 high DPI equivalent of that in the software as well. So we're really pleased with these optimizations that we've put in the software for our partners here at AMD, and we suggest you give them a try.